Welcome to the No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
I'm Mike.
So, Super Bowl 58 has passed.
Dang,
Is it 58?
dang, I didn't know it was that high, but I think so.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs victorious again. 3 titles in 6 years now. Since Patrick Mahomes has been starting, three titles. 49ers, man. What do you think?
That was heartbreaking for them.
It was.
Because a lot of those guys were there a few years ago when they lost to the same team.
To the same guy.
This time, yeah. But this time, like, they had the game.
Yeah, they looked really strong in the first half.
And there was even moments, like, I know the Chiefs came back, but to me, this was still a game the Niners lost, like, as much as the Chiefs won.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Some major mistakes, major blunders at times.
Yes.
The blocked extra point, the muffed punt, things like that is just very, very unfortunate.
And I never seen a punt like muffed that way.
Hitting somebody's foot like that?
Where the guy that's trying to block ends up like the ball accidentally falls, on him. I've never really seen that as a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a freak thing. I think I've seen it maybe once, but not often. It is definitely a freak thing there. The NFL gods are definitely watching over this game for sure.
Because the momentum completely flipped on that play.
It did. So, what did you think of the first half?
I thought both teams looked very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fumbles early on, a lot of poor execution, a lot of heated sidelines.
He's created that mystique and
notably Kelsey losing his mind.
Might not even know how big it is.
They fake it to McCaffrey. On the rollout, he is
that was so
his
crazy.
Man. It's Juszczyk
For him to
with a hurdle out near the 50.
Yeah.
It started very slow.
It did.
Purdy, given time, across the middle, he's got McCaffrey for another first down.
49ers were moving in the beginning.
He's going to come after him today at some point.
It was definitely worrisome for Kansas
40.
City fans.
Ahead
Kansas City
they go.
Chiefs fans should have been really
There's
worried
room for
how
McCaffrey.
easily they were
His
moving
way
it, how
for another
dominant
first down.
McCaffrey
He took
was in
Mike
the first
Edwards
half.
with him.
Which
McCaffrey's
was
touched it on 3
strange
of the
because
first 4
on paper,
plays.
the
All
Chiefs
for good
actually
yardage.
only
They come back
they
to him
held
again.
him to a really low, only
Ball is on the
3.6
ground.
yards
The ball
per
is
carry.
out. Karlaftis
And
is
then,
there for Kansas
but
City.
watching it felt like he was eating
The first signal is a Chief recovery.
the whole time.
Well, the ball's
And then here we
definitely
have
out.
this devastating
Karlaftis
fumble
does
from
come up
McCaffrey,
with it.
which was kind of
Former
uncharacteristic
49er,
of
here's
him
the 3rd and 12.
because he's so strong.
Mahomes
He's
dancing around, finds McKinnon.
probably the best running back
And
in
he's
the
going to
league.
be hammered by Greenlaw again. Fred Warner.
And then the Chiefs
keeping
just
about
really
4
couldn't
yards
get.
short of the
It
sticks.
seemed like they just couldn't get momentum
Bigger
the whole
in
first
the
half.
biggest moments. It's like him and Brady and everyone else.
4-0 in the
they
Super Bowl,
stayed in it,
3-time MVP.
which
Yeah,
just
they
made
did.
the game
Goes
kind of
across the middle.
you
Ayuk
could feel the whole time
tackled
that the
down by
Niners were in
Reed at about the
control,
42-yard
but they
line.
weren't safe.
Yes, it felt like
Second
there
and
was a
17.
switch to be flipped for Kansas City.
Being
They
chased.
just didn't flip
Plants
it
the
yet.
feet. Flag down.
And
I
the
kept
thing is,
waiting
there
for the
Kittle.
Niners to kind of
First
get
down,
better
depending on the flag.
and start to execute better. And it
Offense number
was
71.
the opposite.
10-yard penalty.
right,
Repeat second down.
right.
So Trent Williams, the first team All-Pro left
Yeah,
tackle,
and
has been
even
flagged
when
on.
Kansas City,
It's on your left side of your screen right
when the
there.
49ers
hold, right?
started looking like they
the
were going to
moment-
play well,
Passing
then
down through the
the Chiefs
generation
made
story.
one really nice
Here's a 3rd and
defensive
20.
play, a really nice defensive stop.
Underneath with Depot.
You're like,
He can
okay,
slip
there's
through
the
tackles
Chiefs.
with the best
But
of
then
them. And look at
49ers
all
came
the
right
red
back
hats
and
around
still
them.
looked like they were moving up the field pretty well. So neither
Pacheco
team really got momentum
trying
on
to get a
any
good drive starter, and he
on either
does.
end. It seemed like
He's got a first down.
in the first half.
Pull.
On first down, trouble.
Isaiah Pacheco did absolutely
That's Chase
nothing
Young
in
who
this
got
game.
to him first.
That was like,
And he's already got a couple of big
I mean, I
tackles. He
shouldn't say it
stopped
was
them on third down
surprising.
the last time they had it.
It was
Here's the third and
surprising
15.
on his part, but it
On the
wasn't
run.
surprising that like the 49ers
And he tucks
held
it
him.
under.
I'm not surprised that their
as
defense was
Gregory
good,
was
but
coming
I was
from
surprised
behind and
that
looking
the
for the
Chiefs couldn't
strip.
find like anything
Two of the
open.
greatest
Yeah, I mean, they
offensive
kept,
lines ever.
the Niners
Andy
kept
Reid
Kelsey
might
in
have three
check
top
early
four
on.
ever.
2nd and 2.
Yeah, they did.
Look
Yep,
at that
they
little
did keep
pause,
him in check
that
pretty
little
well.
hesitation, and
Now,
then
what do you
the
think
bolt up the middle for
was
the
the big
first down.
shift when it comes to
39.
Kelsey? Was it the defense getting tired? Was it
Pretty.
the Chiefs switching up some of their sets,
What a perfect pass.
their game plan?
One of the
What
best
do you think?
quarterbacks in the NFL.
Why do you think Kelsey got
1st and
open
10.
To
later
me,
on?
Again, they give him the
Like, after
time,
halftime
and he's got the
specifically,
pass
they
threaded
executed the short
to
stuff
Ray
really well.
McLeod, and they move
Yeah.
the football into
Where
Kansas City
a lot of the,
territory.
like,
Punts in that game,
pre-snap
there were a few
stuff was
beauties.
very well
3rd and
executed.
14, starting the
And then it
second.
would be
Purdy
short,
steps
kind of
away from the
fundamental,
heat,
safe
heaves
throws.
it, and it's knocked
Yeah.
And
away at the
Kelsey
last
slowly
moment.
got it wasn't
Oh,
again.
boy.
It wasn't Kelsey making
McDuffie,
crazy plays. It was
able
just
to
Kelsey
defend it
being
on Debo.
more involved in the game.
If he makes it 55 yards, 54 was the record.
Again, to me, a lot
Steve
of his
Christie and
impactful
Mooney,
plays were
the rookie,
yards after the catch,
nails it.
small,
A Super Bowl
small
record
passes for
from
kind of maybe a
55
second
out.
5 situation.
3rd and less than 1.
So
It's Rice
it was
with the
really
carry, and he has the
Kansas
first.
City's
The
patience
ball came
throughout
out
the game and their
and ended up in the
experience,
hands
which,
of Justin
Yeah.
Watson.
They needed that other weapon on the
Yeah,
outside.
and
other than
poise.
Kelsey.
Even though
79
Kelsey
catches on
didn't
the
show
season
much of it,
for Rice.
everyone else
Mahomes
did.
rolls out and going deep. Going deep.
Were you shocked when they showed
It's caught at the
Kelsey
10-yard
like
line.
assaulting Andy Reid on the
Nicole
side?
Yeah.
Hartman
The fact that he
pulls it
shoved
in.
it, like kind of shoved him, was wild.
Sets him up at the 9.
Yeah.
1st and goal.
Yeah.
Pacheco
It was.
cuts
He's
it
getting in his
outside.
face, I
Tries to do it
understand.
a second time.
But
And
he
he
like
lost
really
the
made
football. And the
legitimate
Niners
physical
are on it.
contact.
How big of a play was the Pacheco fumble
Why this
to you?
Niners flying around defense right now?
It put
Just
a
for
lot
taking
of
over at
pressure
the
on
8-yard
Kansas
line.
City, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was really major because Kansas City could have scored the first
On the
touchdown in this
bootleg,
game.
trying to
I
get
mean, they were
around
right there.
Bolton.
They were doing
And
something
there is a flag coming in for
on
that.
that, in that.
I think that caught
on
Andy
that
Reid by
drive.
surprise.
And
Almost knocked him off his feet,
49ers
almost
really
knocked the
got
play sheet out
momentum
his
off
hand
of that.
for
I
the
think
former left tackle at
their
BYU.
offense got
Here's a
momentum
3rd and 8.
from that big defensive stop.
And they get to him.
What do you think?
Early turnovers, like we said. it just
Reid
kept
comes up.
This game
Oh.
slow.
And for the Niner Nation,
He
he's a
did.
big part of this defense. 3rd and
Even
16.
later
How'd you
on,
feel-
Teams were settling
And
in.
again, Mahomes able to
It
get
just
away at
felt like
first.
a weird nervousness.
And
from
finally
both
brought down by Eric Armstead.
Right.
The blueprint, they call him.
How'd you feel about
Only one caution.
See what he
Brock
dials up
Purdy's
here on 2nd and 10.
run game being kind of
Deep ball.
neutralized by
Samuel
Kansas City?
gets walloped twice but
That
holds
didn't
on
surprise me.
for a gain of about 12.
Yeah, me either.
All the fun.
Honestly, I was
Stretches.
surprised the Niners
Samuel
scored as
out
much
on
as they
2nd
did.
and
I
4.
thought they would
McCaffrey,
struggle more.
his leg's okay as he
Really?
takes a defender
Why do you
with
think
him.
that?
Because the Chiefs' defense have been great all year.
Dennis Mitchell.
Yeah,
And
but
Chris
you know
Jones
the Niners have
grabs him with both
Like,
arms.
They have a lot of
You know,
talent.
super
They have a lot
team
of
on
talent,
offense.
but they very
Oh,
rarely
leg in
put
here.
it together.
Legarius
very
Sneed.
rarely.
After the play
And
was
that's why I
over,
thought like
personal foul.
the Chiefs' experience
Defensive
would
number
really
38. 15-yard
neutralize
penalty, automatic first down.
McCaffrey specifically, and you saw that
Juwan
the effort
Jennings
was
for a
there to slow
play.
them down.
Oh, this ball's in the
Yeah.
air for a long time. McCaffrey's
Yeah.
able to
McCaffrey
put it
had to
down,
earn, I mean,
and
damn
he's
near
going
every
in
down.
for the touchdown.
He did.
Juwan Jennings
He did.
with
I
a
mean, he
touchdown
was getting touched
pass.
a lot
Felt like
up
it took
until
forever to
this
get
trick play
there, but
touchdown.
it was scary. It is
Every
wide
other
open.
run he had, he was facing a lot of contact.
2nd and 2.
But it still seemed like he
That's
was.
a first down carry.
They were getting
for
what they were trying to
Pacheco.
get.
And you're leaving one-on-one with
with him.
Bosa.
Like they were getting places with him. I felt like he was
Bosa
really
coming
moving the
around
ball.
the
for him.
corner. Holmes able to slip out of
So they
it.
scored a
throw against his
touchdown
body. He's
off
got
the
his
trick
man.
play, which was
He's got
fantastic,
Watson for a
by the
first
way.
down at the 39-yard line.
Fantastic play
2
call.
yards away from a first.
Were you worried at all when it was 10-0? How do you
Close
feel
snap.
about that at this
Pass
point right here?
caught. Rice.
I wasn't worried.
Finally brought down by Logan
No,
Ryan.
not for Kansas.
Too
not
much
for
time.
Kansas City.
Mahomes' track record.
To
like,
Rice.
it ain't like
Down to
Mahomes'
14.
comeback.
Warner on the coverage
track
and the
record didn't
tackle.
start
I'm with
with this
him.
game.
You know it's a zone. Kelsey, go
Right.
up in the middle and work on
I
Fred.
expected him to at
Stepping
least
up.
make the game close.
And gets pancaked by
He
Armstead.
missed a lot of guys on this game
Townsend
overall.
on the hold.
We'll get to that later.
And Kansas City is on the board.
The big play happens, but he missed some guys throughout this game.
Well, the first snap
Okay,
of
so
the
third quarter comes.
and the ball is on
They have
the
a couple
ground.
weird
Pacheco swung down at the
plays like this
11-yard
one.
line. What a brutal
Pacheco,
beginning to the second half for Kansas
pitch,
City.
drops the pitch there.
Entire game because you've got two guys dominating right there.
3rd and 12.
It took them a while.
Stepping up and lofts it. He is picked
And then
off.
the interception, the Patrick
overthrew a
Mahomes
target.
interception. 13:30 for
Brown
the
comes
audio
down
listeners.
with
We're
it.
watching the
Get
highlights
about
for the audio
10 yards,
listeners.
you'll have to get a
This,
first
I
down.
was nervous here.
Purdy being chased.
You were nervous after the
And
interception?
caught by Willie Gay.
But I don't think we saw it. We just it cut
However, the
after
49ers did
interception.
not
The
score on
Niners
those
had
two
a
takeaways. They're
penalty
second
that
and 10.
completely killed
Oh,
their
cannot
drive.
give that up.
That is Kelsey.
Yeah, what was
And
it?
he
Do you remember?
drives for the
I want to say it was
first.
a hold because
Yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy.
They
You know, you
never
may
heard it
change an
15
aspect, get
wasn't
the
'cause they
challenge
took a
back, it's
sack.
going to get
I'm
the
pretty sure it was
timeout.
'cause
Look
it
how
was a
tight
head
they
up
are. They're
penalty.
ready for an inside run.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they're,
Yeah.
in fact, right
And
there
to
to
me,
pounce on them.
every penalty the Niners had killed
That's
their-
why you need
their,
a second
like,
play. You
that
can't go for this
drive
now.
momentum.
Two.
Really did. It really did. There were some really bad penalties in here. The
Purdy
Snead
launching
fight early on was
downfield.
really bad.
Was there contact? Connor on the coverage
The
of Kittle.
Niners, again, the Niners
He's
held
been
up
held without a catch.
for a lot
The
of this
former
game.
49er
Offensive.
in Richie
They did.
James, and it's
They
first
did.
down for Mahomes
There
and
was
company.
no pass
Kelsey's got
interference
the
calls in
catch.
this game.
And we've
That's
got
pretty
our
impressive.
first down of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really
Off
see any
IR.
to like really expect it. I thought both sides covered
Mahomes
relatively well.
keeps it.
They did.
And
Oh, here it
somehow
is. This
got
is when
past the
this is when I knew the game was
including
over. Right
Chiefs
here. This next
all-time
this next
leading
one.
rusher in the
Right
postseason
here,
is Patrick Mahomes.
watch how
He has it
Mahomes
right now.
gets up
He's
from
got
this.
10, 15, 20, 22 yards on the run.
See how he tossed the ball right there? That was like, these guys can't guard me. That was this. I got this. I figured him out. And then watch this face right here.
Before it's
This
finally ended by
Terminator face.
Logan Ryan.
Right there.
Pulled the helmet.
Ball game. Ball game. I'm like, when I was watching, I'm like, it's over.
For them has been
Mahomes
staying
got
in the
him.
third and long.
He got him. He took their heart. Like Draymond said, he took. Draymond, took his heart. That was it right there.
They've got third
Because
and
at
long
this
here.
point,
Third and 8.
I mean, they punt on this,
And the Niners are up
and
to
then the
as
muff punt
Hartman
is
is
coming up.
wrestled down.
but after this, the momentum, you could just see Kansas
High
City just
snap,
had
he
something.
drives it through.
The switch like officially got flipped at that
They
point.
like to go to
me.
Jennings sometimes on third down as
And it's
he
not
fires
like,
down the field, and that was intended
San
for
Francisco
Debo.
didn't still play pretty well, but I think Kansas City just
Again
started
in the
playing
running
better.
back.
And
Mahomes.
Mahomes, you know,
Again being chased,
using his legs in
Moses
this
on him,
game was
And it's incomplete
basically saved the game
for a touchdown.
in a lot of
I
ways.
will say, in one comparison,
Put some
that I
odds on
guess
that.
makes Purdy look bad. You felt how much better
Switched up and he
Mahomes
touched
had.
it. It's a fumble, and it's a recovery by Kansas
Like
City.
both quarterbacks had to escape,
And
I
now
think,
set up in the red
Mahomes
zone.
Made a little bit more
Trying to
plays.
take the lead. Mahomes goes for it right away.
Yeah,
wide
I
open.
think his
Touchdown.
vision was better, and I think he just picked when to do it better than Purdy. Because there was times
The
there was like,
Chiefs have the first lead in
Purdy
the
should
Super
just
Bowl.
run this.
It's
But, you know,
man-to-man.
he didn't do it. And Mahomes, I think, picked the right times. He had a lot of
Fires it.
space.
Got his target.
Because in the first half, at least, there really
Juwan
wasn't a
Jennings,
lot of
as he always
chances
does,
for Mahomes to run.
it seems, anyway.
The second half it started getting opened up a little bit more
Use check.
for everybody, but
Got the
Pacheco,
first down.
Let's see who wins the chess match.
First and 10 to start the fourth. Purdy down the middle. Open
I'm surprised they didn't
Ayuk.
pick Purdy off at all.
Second catch is a big
Holding
one.
up.
As Reed
Yeah.
tries to rip it out of his
Every
hands,
little
but that's
or
not
massive
happening.
mistake they made, the Chiefs immediately.
He's outstanding.
Led the league in
They
average
did.
yards per catch as Purdy
did, on
fakes.
both ends.
It goes long to the end zone.
And they were getting to Purdy
Samuel
on
had
all
a
the
step.
long balls, all the plays that
This is the
seemed like they were
second
going to be.
time.
I shouldn't say
Second and
long,
10.
but medium pass plays. They got to Purdy
McCaffrey surveys
and made it
and
really
goes.
difficult for him.
And that's a great example why he led the league this year, not only in rushing, but
McCaffrey's
first
just a beast, man.
in the
Now,
league
there is
rushing
a fourth
before
and
contact.
three
Going to go back.
that the Niners go for.
Use check the
Over the
fullback
line.
leading the way as McCaffrey
Yeah,
tries to
I
go
thought it was
outside. He lost a yard.
Was it the
boy, to
Kittle
the Chiefs.
on that outside?
That's the call from Shanahan.
Yeah, that was huge.
Outside.
This
That was
right
one of the
here,
biggest plays of the
Fourth down.
game.
It's
Kittle
Kittle,
extended.
and I think he's short.
Yeah,
No,
that was
he got
that was
it.
You think so?
arguably the
Richard?
biggest
He
play
got
of the
it.
game.
Okay.
I
That was
thought
Reed
the
on
biggest
the
successful
the
play.
Niners
tackle.
just like that
No,
play you
it's zone.
showed from Mahomes.
1 second on the play clock.
The Niners
Second
in that
and 9.
moment
Purdy's
matched
pass.
his intensity.
Caught. Jennings.
Yeah,
Did
that was
it!
huge. Yeah,
Because right
What
here they
an effort
capitalized,
breaking
and it's like,
tackles.
okay, the
Now
momentum
he's
is
thrown
back.
for a touchdown
We've responded.
and caught another.
Like, we're still
All
in
out
control.
pressure. The
yeah.
17 of his 25 catches is Moody. Extra
honestly,
point. Oh my
honestly, the
goodness,
most shocked I
no.
was 'cause they
It
went
is
for it.
blocked.
That was they
Yeah.
could have easily tied the game with a field goal.
How big is
Yep.
that now? A 3-point game.
And then
he
we got the block.
knows the game at a high
Over
level,
there.
and he has really helped
Yeah.
them right now have this lead.
3rd and 10.
And then everything
Open.
after this, everything kind
Somehow
of started
left
looking
alone.
easy for Kansas City to me.
And 2nd and 10.
It was one of those.
With 9 minutes to
Kelsey
go.
Wide open, great route. Like,
Open, wide open.
Yep.
It's Watson.
And then that's
bounced out near
Watson,
the
I
20.
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
Watson had a nice game. He was he made a number of big plays.
There's a
Coming up,
toss to
Kelsey, like,
Pacheco.
basically
Looking for an opening. He
shatters
found one.
the
Boy, there
49ers
wasn't a whole lot
player's
there. He
shoulder
picked up 8
with
out
this
of
like
that. 12 yards out.
is this it? No, it's after this.
Pacheco again up the middle.
That's
Down to
Pacheco's
about the
best
4.
run right there.
Boy, there was
Best
a
run in
burst
the
by
entire game.
Pacheco.
It was only for
And
like
a half
8
to go,
yards.
Down
No,
3.
both of these teams proved their
Going
like,
empty.
year to me. That this
Looking
game,
left.
Yeah.
every time that they
Looking,
got
looking.
nervous, they didn't
Rolling out.
fall away from
Mahomes
the run game.
in trouble. And he's
Yeah.
taken down at the
Like, both
6.
sides could have easily
It's
fell back on
Hargrave.
Mahomes or fell back on
The effort
30,
on this D-line.
and they
Makes
continue
that
to
stop.
feed the run game.
Brings
try
out
to
Butker now to try to tie it from 24 yards.
I tell you what,
And
I mean,
it is.
Mahomes is clearly
Knotted at
MVP,
16.
but
Come up, Kyle. Just make it
Butker
simple
should get the
start.
game ball.
Going up top right away.
Butker was huge.
Throws
in
it.
this.
Oh, Jennings!
Absolutely
What a
huge.
game he's
Super Bowl
having.
record for distance.
What a drive starter it is,
57
too.
yards.
He's played the game
That
of
was
his life
incredible.
in some ways today. Couldn't come at a better
Jennings,
time
by the way, for
Niners
the Niners, had a
First and
awesome
10. It's Debo.
He did. He
Trying to fool the
like
defense.
for them. If they had won,
they
McCaffrey should
do.
get MVP. He
Picks
would
up a
get the
big
game
chunk
ball.
play
He
for
would be like
about
second
9.
because he made some really spectacular plays,
Clock running.
extra effort plays.
McCaffrey will pick it up with ease. Now it's interesting to
took a
see
lot of
how they
beats in
use
this
the
game.
clock.
He needs to.
You know what was
Play of the game,
heartbreaking
3rd and long
also
4.
was the Niners
And they
defense.
blitzed. And they forced the incompletion. McDuffie.
It's like the Niners, it's the reason they haven't been back in a
Rudy's
couple
kick.
years.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yep.
Wow, that was incredibly clutch. You'd love to see
Oh,
anybody else.
The
Pat
Niners
Mahomes,
kicker,
the
by the
Green
way,
Wall,
matched
Super Bowl.
Butker every
Mahomes across the
time.
middle. Kelsey.
He did.
Forges ahead.
If-
He's got 11 and a
Yeah,
first.
if he didn't get
First
blocked,
play was not a
I
first
mean,
down, so now Mahomes has
they-
it
it
back.
really would have been
Run right
even.
there.
Butker just had just.
They marked Kelsey short.
Buckers
I
were
didn't see it
bigger
that
'cause
way,
they were
but here it is
down.
Gray running to the 49-yard line.
This game, how
Yeah, the
aggressive, see
Greenlaw
how
injury
deep
coming
these guys
in.
are, Jim?
I'm not
First
sure
and
what they
10 throw. Watson
said
in
happened.
the
Was it
field to
Achilles?
play, and they're trying to strip
It
it.
looked like
He
it,
holds
but I
on.
don't know for sure.
And they're already basically in.
Yeah,
They ended up
that was
sending one
crazy.
guy
Just
inside, one
basically
outside.
celebrating on the sideline.
Bringing it.
Like that's
Dump it off.
so
McKinnon.
such a freak
McKinnon.
accident.
Boom.
I've never
boom.
seen anything like
3rd and 7.
this in football.
Here's the Kelsey one
Kelsey,
where he
who
basically
else?
shatters
Taken off inside
this
the
guy's
20,
shoulder.
down to the
27.
10-yard line
Yeah.
with 9 seconds to
Over his
go.
shoulder, Kelsey just so
Shades
big
of
and
the
strong.
finish
He
with New
basically
England and
shattered
Seattle. Coming down
those.
to the last plays.
Mahomes for the
Low
Super Bowl.
snap.
And then this is the
Launches
miss.
end zone
It was Rasheed
incomplete.
Rice
That was
missed there.
smart. See how quick he got rid of it?
Rasheed
so much
Rice
time he gave
went
himself.
and told Patrick
To send
Mahomes
the
a little
game.
bit about
No way it ends like
him
this,
being
does it?
open. That was an interesting
overtime.
Wide
discussion.
Butker's kick is
Yeah.
good.
But you know,
He was up the middle, wide open.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if he was
How about a
wide
little
open.
overtime from
I
Las
mean,
Vegas?
I mean, Mahomes could have got it,
Open.
but not, I don't
any
think every
different.
quarterback could have got him. But it is Mahomes. He's open for
As Purdy
Mahomes.
takes it, drops back,
The thing is, you got to.
throws, knocked down.
Rice is a rookie, isn't he? Yeah,
It
that was
just came
bad.
out of his
that was
hand,
a
I
big play.
think, a little
3rd and 13,
awkwardly.
they got nothing.
I doubt he completes
was
a
moving
pass
forward.
there,
There's a
and I hate that
penalty.
we
This
can't
is on the
even-
Chiefs.
don't
I
even-
think they were holding it. It looked like
Yeah.
no one could tell.
like,
There's
you
a
can't
flag down at the
fumble a
38-yard
pass
line.
Right.
Ruling on the field.
And then this was probably
Prior to the pass.
the call of the
Holding.
game.
Defense number
That
22.
holding call was
5-yard
really
penalty.
rough.
Automatic first down.
punting situation.
And guess who it is that got it?
It
Jennings.
was legit.
Who's having the
It was
game.
legit. And
Line
he
up
sold
on
it.
the near
But
side.
it was legit.
Third and
Soft, but
two.
not a
As
right.
Purdy flings it, got the first. Ayuk.
The receiver there, he really sold it,
This-
and he drew it.
Gotta close his
That was
eyes.
the right
Second
call.
and 6. The Son in trouble.
Oh, what a play.
Flings it to McCaffrey.
Big
He gets
McCaffrey
past
play there.
Edwards.
Quarterbacks
High
executed
stepping
the
and pushed
short
out by
stuff
Snead.
really well.
What a play.
They did. They did.
Trying to settle the push.
So here in overtime,
12. Purdy.
49ers have the
Had
ball.
time and then had to go outside.
This is when Brock
Now
goes out to the
throws.
right,
What a
and that was a
play.
huge play as well. Huge. And then
He thought he
they,
didn't catch it. Juszczyk is the receiver.
Right now, their two best defenders are guarding your two
Purdy?
best wide receivers.
Yeah.
McCaffrey
he's
in motion.
athletic. Yeah.
They fake the
I mean,
handoff
I'm
to
not
him.
sure if
Chiefs in on
That's
Purdy
why,
so fast he had
when we
to
were
just
talking about
unload
them in the
it.
first half,
So
I'm
the
not sure if
drive
Mahomes is more of
stalls.
an athlete or just he just has better vision. So he
Two
knows
from
when
outside
he can
50
do it.
today. This is half that
'Cause even
distance.
every time Mahomes runs,
27 yards. He makes it.
he's really huge.
Get up there on him.
Really, really, really huge.
Up ahead.
When Mahomes does run, he usually
That's going to
gets
be
what
fourth
he
down.
wants.
Yeah, it's going to be fourth down and it comes down to
and
this
Purdy-
play. With the game on the line.
Purdy sometimes
Jump
he
off
runs
sides
more
first.
like out of danger
Mahomes
than
has
Mahomes
it.
just runs
He's
because like
easily
there's an
gonna get the
opportunity.
first.
You know,
They are.
Yeah.
like that when Mahomes just saw
Especially
an opportunity
as
there,
Another low snap.
5 minutes in the
Pass complete.
overtime.
And that's Valdez.
And this Valdez
oh
can't
man, he's
run
going to lose
backwards.
yardage. Going the
The
wrong
team
way.
reaction.
Mahomes' reaction.
Come after him. When they've been up in here, I expect them to
Yeah,
drop out this time.
even though Lyman's reactions were really
He
funny.
goes. Rice has the
Then
first
Rice has a
down,
great catch
and he's
across
out
the
of
middle.
bounds at the 40.
4 minutes left in
Second and
overtime.
6 from the 37 of the 49ers. Set up a screen for Pacheco.
Another great Pacheco play
and is
there.
ridden down by Warner. Boy, Warner jumped
And,
right on him. They're going to mark
and
him about
it's-
half foot
They
short.
couldn't keep up
Third
with the
and
short
a
play.
football.
I know.
Not a big deal now unless you don't get it.
Go up top.
This third one was huge.
Mahomes
Mahomes got this.
Cradles it
And
and
some.
goes down
All the way
to the
down to the
13-yard
13
line.
there on that run.
10 yards from the win.
Like I said, when you open up on third, Mahomes, he's going for it. He's
Throws it to
running.
Kelsey in the middle of the field.
And then Kelsey,
plowing ahead.
those full Space
Kelsey
Jam
still on his feet.
on this,
And
like
I believe he's going to have the first and
everyone was holding him back.
goes down to the 13-yard
He
line.
was determined to get to the end zone there.
10 yards
I
from the
really thought
win.
he was going to make it.
Mahomes throws it to Kelsey in the middle of the field. Kelsey plowing ahead. Kelsey still on
The
his
Niners
feet.
What did
said,
that so
nah,
bad?
He's
anybody
going to
else.
have the first and
Anyone
goal to
else.
go.
Can only feel
Yeah.
the number of people out there being
And
like,
then with 8 seconds
what's going
left,
on?
Hardman
First and goal. Mahomes flings it.
cut
It's
this year,
there!
man.
Hardman! Jackpot!
He was cut.
Kansas
This
City!
he's waved and makes
And
the
this was the Andy Reid
game-winning
special.
touchdown.
This was the
Taylor
Andy
Swift
Reid
and her
special we
friends go
talked about.
wild.
He was saving all day.
Taylor
He's
Swift
going to
and
fake a
Lana Del
motion to
Rey.
go
Yeah,
across.
just do that.
And at that moment, he
Miles
turns
Teller
and
was
goes
up
back
there, I think.
Hardman, who they didn't have.
Big
right?
Lively.
And they
They,
go get Hardman and bring him back.
Ice
And the
Spice went. They all went
game-winning
bananas.
drive of Mahomes' career.
So
He's
that
been
was
waiting
great.
for. He's won
Andy
Super
Reid
Bowls.
gets the
He's never
purple
had it.
Gatorade on
And in
his-
overtime, he
his
is the
back
best.
later.
He is the standard.
It was a
Your Michael Jordan
fantastic moment for
wins
the
it
Chiefs.
again.
Really happy for him. Really happy
They
for
win
Hardman,
by
man.
3
To
on
think
this touchdown
he
throw.
might not have even
to
been
Nicole Hardman,
employed
who started the
a couple
season as
months
a
ago.
Jet.
and now he has a Super Bowl ring and the Super Bowl winning catch.
Jim, I want you to know this was an incredible.
So that's the game. Let's talk real quick about what everyone on the planet is talking about regarding the overtime rules and the overtime decision. Are you taking it first, or are you kicking it first?
I'm taking the ball first.
You're taking the ball first. In overtime?
I mean, in either you're asking me like, would I take the ball first?
Yeah, you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I would personally take the ball first. And the Niners took the ball first strategically in that moment as well, I thought.
I thought it was strategic as well. Yeah.
And I don't like how some people are kind of talking as if it was the wrong decision. To me, the defense was dying. The
Yeah.
captain during the coin toss was panting.
Yeah.
I'm like, you obviously take the ball. Tony Romo immediately points out defense looks tired. You take the ball.
Yeah.
And for me personally, if I'm in the Super Bowl, I believe in my quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Purdy has shown enough to where I believe in him, to where I want to control destiny. I want to decide. I want to put pressure on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I'm not mad at the decision at all.
Well, I guess it's two ways to look at it when it comes to like putting pressure on the other team, because some might think that taking it second, kicking it is putting pressure on their quarterback to do something. But I think that they felt that their defense was good enough in this game that no matter what they got, they would have gotten a stop, because at least in the first half, first really 3 quarters, they got stops really whenever they wanted to. I'm not really. I mean, I understand why people think it was a bad call, but I'm not really. I'm kind of with you. It is what it is. He did it. That was his strategy. It is what it is.
But to me, it's like they're the Niners themselves are presenting it like it was like, they had no idea what was going on and just fucking stumbled into the decision. That
was really corny. They have been acting like, I mean, I really didn't know the rules. I just did whatever.
That's where I'm like, okay, then you look stupid. You were wrong just because you didn't know what was going on.
That's what's actually made the decision more controversial by how they
stood on that. If they stood on it, if they just embraced the fact that we wanted the ball first, everybody would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's like a weird conversation about the rule. The rule to me is great.
But the other thing is, what people don't know, because this didn't happen in the game, had the Chiefs only gotten a field goal, then it would have been sudden death after that. Yeah. So whoever would have scored next. So 49ers would have had a chance to go win the game with anything if the Chiefs had only matched the 49ers first thing. So that is a good strategy. You would want to be the person to have it last. If you had done it if it was the other way and Mahomes had it first and you guys came and matched him, and then you let Mahomes determine who wins the game at the end, no chance.
and again, like, revisionist history, if Kyle Shanahan's like, you know what, maybe we don't put the ball in Mahomes' hands last because he's just that good.
Yeah.
Okay, but to say it like we had no idea what was going on, we decided our overtime strategy before like the playoffs. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Like, why would you expose yourself like that?
Right. Yeah. So I also agree that it probably was a good decision, given that in sudden death, if Mahomes had it last in sudden death, it was over.
It's over.
Like, they were better off trying to get what they got and letting Mahomes, and trying to stop Mahomes from getting a touchdown like they did. But but Mahomes did get the touchdown. But the strategy that they did was better off. So then Purdy would have had a chance to just get, all they would have needed was a field goal to win the game after that. But yeah, giving Mahomes the ball last to let him determine what happens after you guys matched. Yeah, good luck with that. We don't need to talk about the all-time stuff yet, right? Like, do we need to do that today?
I mean, no. To me, Mahomes is like as certified all-time as it gets now, though.
Yeah.
Like, now there's nothing fraudulent about his greatness. There's no, like, he doesn't need the circumstance to work for him to make it happen. They struggled all year. Their offense specifically struggled all year, and the outcome was the same.
This is almost like the the Warriors' last championship, when Clay was washed all year until he plays great in the finals. Like
Wiggins was
like
a
Kelsey.
Lost cause at that point.
Yeah, they said the same thing about Kelsey all year.
Yep.
Kelsey's washed. He's not getting his numbers. He's not getting open. He's not strong anymore. His head's not in the game. All that
Nobody
stuff,
could
and
stop him in the playoffs.
no one. Same old, same old, same old. So as long as you have those guys, you're gonna have a chance.
What's insane is none of the games. I mean, Kelsey either played well or dominated every game.
Yeah.
And Mahomes never had to force him the ball.
No.
There was never like, half the passes are incomplete or the percentage is not that good. It was like 80% and above completion percentage going to Kelsey.
Yep.
So they're just such an unstoppable duo. It's insane.
And that's one thing that kind of separates Mahomes from the other quarterbacks, like other top tier quarterbacks. He really doesn't force it to anybody.
Yeah.
When I say top tier, I mean the guys like in the conversation. Obviously, I've said enough about Josh Allen throughout the year about him forcing it to Diggs. Burrow kind of forces it sometimes, which he probably forces it the least next to Mahomes, but he does sometimes. And then Lamar really doesn't force it because he just runs.
As far as GOAT talk goes, to me, Andy Reid is the one who upgraded his resume the most.
I agree.
This run.
I agree.
Like Mahomes to me is already kind of, a lot of people have already determined him as better than Brady.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's wrong. I'll be honest. He's on the way. But he's really chasing the numbers.
Right.
And Brady's numbers are insane. It's going to take him a little while, but he's on the way to that too.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy Reid to me, like before you really couldn't look at him versus Belichick in a legitimate comparison.
Yeah.
But now you really see like Andy Reid has been successful for a really long time, and he's not one-dimensional. He's not like a stylistic coach.
Right.
He adjusts to whatever, very similar to how Belichick did during their run.
Yeah. Yep. But to your point, the hardware was really the only thing that separating Mahomes. Like you said, on the field, talent-wise, we've already seen Mahomes play at the highest level that we've ever seen.
Just think about that. He's in year 6, and he's unanimously, at worst, the second greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah.
He's in year 6. Like that's ludicrous to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. So and with coaches, it really is just the stats, the numbers. It's your wins. It's the hardware. I mean, that really is all it is for coaches most of the time. So Reid definitely got the payday with that.
And he's got, I mean, to me, assuming his health is good, many more opportunities if he wants them.
Yeah. And, Kelsey moved up in his discussion also. He definitely did.
I mean, to me, he is the best, tight end.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's still in the arguments.
He's not arguments. He doesn't dominate he's not as dominant physically as Gronk.
Yeah.
But with Gronk, it was more like the presence on the field.
Yeah.
With Kelsey, it's just pure receiving greatness.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. And then Gonzalez, like him being in Gonzalez's kind of shadow on the Chiefs kind of makes it tough. But Gonzalez was just pure longevity. Like he was just consistent for a long time.
It's weird because Kelsey's 34, I think, 35 maybe.
Think so.
Which for a tight end is really old.
Yeah, he's 34.
For a tight end, they normally don't get into their upper 30s.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's still got a year or two if he wants it.
Yeah. How he's playing, yeah. He's the second oldest in the league, and Jimmy Graham is the oldest, and you could argue whether he's in the league or not now.
I mean, he caught some touchdowns for the Saints this year.
Yeah, but I don't know if he'll be back next year.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah, Kelsey and then Ertz is next.
But Kelsey, it'll be interesting with Travis to see how how much he wants to chase the GOAT debate.
Yeah.
Because he's in that like unique spot of he could retire and be kind of a GOAT, or he could keep playing and like legitimately cement himself as a GOAT.
Right. Yep. Oh, and Mercedes Lewis is actually the oldest. He's like
He's still
39.
Where the hell is he at?
I don't even know. The
That's
Packers,
wild.
I guess. No, the Bears.
What?
Bears. Yeah. He's 39.
You couldn't pay me to watch a Bears game, but all right, good for him. He's still providing some veteran leadership.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from the Super Bowl. Congratulations to Kansas City. We'll be back talking about football and more off-season stuff. Trade deadline passed. Where do you want to start with trade deadline? I have a couple suggestions. Let's start with Dallas.
Yes.
Dallas made some interesting moves. They got Gafford from the Wizards in exchange for Rashawn Holmes, who they like never put in the game. And they also got PJ Washington from the Hornets in exchange for Grant Williams and Seth Curry, who both, Grant Williams played well for them, and they just didn't really use Seth. I guess they didn't really need him, but they didn't really use him. They also got 2 second-round picks in that PJ Washington, and they gave up a first-round pick, which I thought was... I actually thought this was kind of high for PJ Washington. But I guess it's only as high... Yeah, it's only as high as you use the guys, right? Because, like, if you don't use Grant Williams and if you don't use Seth Curry, then I guess it's not that important, right? So, but to me, if I had PJ Washington and someone offered me Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first round pick, I'm like, are you sure you only want PJ Washington? Like, so, solid trade, and immediately they look fantastic. PJ and Gafford both look fantastic for the Mavs.
Yeah.
Gafford is like doing amazing, having amazing blocks. The lobs, the dunks are vicious. He just has an immediate presence on both ends for them. And maybe he just needed to be on a better team, a more structured team. And PJ Washington's versatility is just... it's what Grant Williams had. Maybe not as good on defense, but he spreads the floor better. He can hit mid-range shots. He could post up a little bit better. He's faster. PJ is just a very good utility guy for Dallas. And Dallas, once again, looks complete again. So what do you think?
I think Dallas is like as perfect as they could get.
Yeah.
Outside of their individual players being like better. That's, every team wants that.
Yeah.
But to me, the offense is so like easy for them.
Yeah.
They might be the only team, because there's so many teams I watch and I get frustrated that their offenses are very simplistic or very stagnant or just very basic.
Yeah.
And they're the only team where I never seek for them to do anything extra.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Dallas, the pick and roll is more than enough. A couple handoffs, more than enough. Extra kickouts, more than enough.
Yeah.
Like Dallas is just as complete offensively as it gets in the league.
Yeah. They have shooting. They have defense. They have lob threats. They have ball handlers. They have guys who can see the floor. They have versatility. They have size. They have everything.
And they're perfectly built around their 2 best players.
They are. And they're even built so well that one of them can get hurt and it really don't notice it, because they have guys who can put up who can score more than they score normally. Like Josh Green randomly could have 25. Like, even though he only averages 12. And then Hardaway could have 35. They got, and PJ Washington, we've seen him have 30, 40 this year.
To me, Something that's gone unnoticed, because the narrative is that they got rid of Grant Williams because they didn't like him. I saw the report, which, again, the report, I'm not saying it's not true. They probably didn't like him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But to me, what made him easy to trade is how well Derek Jones Jr. has played.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like he's the one guy, because a lot of their guys, to your point, have played well. But he's the guy who's like in Grant Williams' role playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's much more dynamic of an athlete. I mean, he's a top 5 athlete in the league in general.
Yeah.
So he just gives them more versatility playing Grant's minutes.
Yeah, he does.
That was kind of the leading up to the deadline. Like, yeah, Grant Williams is playing well for them, but the other guys emerging have made him kind of useless.
Yeah, and his pick and roll doesn't help because he's really not a layup guy. Like, he doesn't take a lot of layups. Yeah. And he's not big enough to really score that well inside. I mean, height-wise. And he doesn't shoot mid-range jumpers. So his pick and roll wasn't as effective as even a Derek Jones who, can hit mid-range jumpers, is going to dunk on somebody every time he comes through the lane, is going to finish tough layups, and can hit the three as well. And Grant just didn't have that much versatility on the pick and rolls, which would be kind of a good way to use him, because he's the widest, biggest, mass guy on the team, but it just didn't work. He kind of just clogged up space.
I mean, let's be honest. Grant Williams, I don't even want to say better or worse. He plays very similar to a guy they've had for years, Maxi Kleber.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Very similar, and they already have that.
And Grant costs
him.
more. So, yeah, and Grant costs more. So
exactly.
Might as well take the cheap one. Yep. It seems like the Hornets are keeping Grant and Seth.
I know they've run off a couple wins, I saw.
Yeah, I saw a cool moment with Seth and Dell, his dad, doing the commentary. That was pretty fun. But yeah, so looks like they may keep them at least for the rest of the season. Okay, moving on.
We gotta talk about New York
next. Oh, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, New York made a decent trade, and they picked up Alec Burks, got Alec Burks back, and Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons in exchange for Evan Fournier. Yes, get him off the books finally. Malachi Flynn, Quentin Grimes, sorry to see Quentin Grimes go. Ryan Arcidiacono, sorry to see the Villanova brother go. 2 future second-round picks and some cash money for Alec Burks and Bojan. What do you think?
I think the Knicks are complete, man. What do you want me to say?
It's a good pickup for the Knicks. It is.
I don't understand what are they, again, the only thing you could say they're missing is individual players that you don't believe in. Which
me?
Not you necessarily, but to me the only thing you could point to as a glaring weakness is players you can't trust.
Yeah. That's
fair. Essentially every other team has this issue.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not missing anything. I mean, they got the one thing you asked for.
Someone to take bad shots?
They got more shooting.
Is Bogdanovic a good shooter?
Yes.
Not to me. He hit some threes, but I don't know.
You're completely valid to question his shot selection.
Yeah, he's
I'm
good.
Not questioning him as a shooter.
He hits shots. He does. He does. The Knicks have assembled the perfect roster that, like, at this point, anything else they do to this roster would like only be a positive to me. Like as long as they keep like for the most part what they at least play, anything else is just like a positive. And they were like this before this trade, because Fournier, they weren't playing at all. Malachi Flynn, they weren't playing at all. Quentin Grimes played a lot, but he was the clear
Easily
upgrade.
replaceable.
Yeah, he was the clear place they needed to upgrade, and they did. Arcidiacono, I haven't seen him in the game. 2 future second round picks, they pick garbage picks anyway. So they did a good thing, and Burks played fantastic for the Knicks when he was there, and like fantastic for him. And I think Bogdanovich is a good piece. I don't think he's a negative to really anybody's team. He's a good scorer. Doesn't have to score a lot, and he definitely takes the open shot if he has it.
But you still don't believe in this team as a genuine contender, even though they're not missing anything.
I think they're missing stuff, but I'll say this: I don't think that. I don't know. I just wish they had a little more versatility from their wings. Like I wanted them to get a shooter, but I really just wanted them to have someone that like can score with the ball. And I guess Bogdanovich can. He's just not the best at it. He's a volume shooter. He could have really bad games. Some of his shots are just really, really bad. And the Knicks have been doing pretty good not taking bad shots lately. I mean, really, this whole year, they've been really good not taking bad shots. And just like, I just hope he doesn't disrupt that momentum for the Knicks. It was good momentum. They're getting open shots. They're swinging it. DiVincenzo, smart player. You can acknowledge
that whatever, however their season ends, if it ends early in the playoffs, it'll be disappointing. But we're not going to be looking at their front office and saying like they should have done this. They didn't try. They weren't as aggressive as they needed to be. Like they're making contender moves.
They are making contender moves. To me, this team is like the depth. To me, this was more of a depth trade than it was a contending trade. It's like we got rid of 4 guys from our depth that we really don't use, and we get 2 really good ones that we will use. Like now, this team is like set up for if they get any star, the team was going to be like an immediate contender. They're not a contender now, but they're like really 1 star, any star. It doesn't even matter what position they play at this point because they kind of have a good player at every position, depth-wise. That's how I look at it. I told you earlier when the Knicks made the OG trade, I was like, well, I mean, LaVine is out for the rest of the season, but if they were going to go for LaVine, the team was set up perfectly for like if we get someone like LaVine, then we're like at the next level. The Knicks are at the next level. If they got like I hope they're not setting it up to try to get Donovan Mitchell now, because I doubt if Donovan Mitchell comes to the Knicks. But this is a team where it's like, hey, if we just got an all-star now, another all-star, shout out to Jalen Brunson, the team's set up for contention. But this isn't the contending move to me, because both these guys easily could come off the bench. I probably would bring them both up.
Listen, honestly, Alec Burks is whatever. Like he's not that significant.
No, he's not.
Bogdanovich is gonna play a massive role in like late playoff games.
I don't see it. I'm sorry. What? I just don't see it. I don't see it. How old is Bogdanovich?
I mean, I guess time will tell, but I guess we're looking at Bogdanovich completely differently.
How long do you think Bogdanovich has left in the NBA?
Probably not long. I don't know, 2 years maybe? 3 years?
Okay.
I mean, just out of sheer interest. I'm not sure how long he wants to play.
No, I'm just saying from his talent right now. How much more of the league do you think he has?
If he loves the game, 5 years.
Okay, I gotcha.
Which you never know with him, but
Yeah.
to me, he's enough of an explosive player where he
Explosive?
like an explosive impact player.
No.
He can score 30. You acting like he
can.
can't get 30.
On the Pistons?
No. He was getting 30 in Utah in the playoffs all the time.
Yeah, he was.
With Donovan.
Yeah. He was the second best scorer on that team.
And at that we were heavily critical when he was the second best player. He is a horrible second best player.
Right. He probably is a good third.
He's coming in as at best a starter here. Like that's his best case scenario is, he'll be in the starting lineup by the end of the season.
Yeah.
And he's an upgrade over DiVincenzo.
Is he?
Yes.
All
right. We'll wait on this because, Bogdanovich,
I don't know about that.
To your point, Bogdanovich hasn't played on a relevant team in a while.
I don't know if he's. What does he do better than DiVincenzo?
Score in every way.
DiVincenzo been getting buckets lately.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like DiVincenzo. I have no problem if he keeps the starting role.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo's played well enough to where I have to really consider if Bogdanovich could even come in for him.
Yeah.
But to me, again, Bogdanovich is such an explosive. He might not start, but he'll for sure have playoff games where he'll be their top 3 scorer.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And to me, that's what they lack. It's not specifically shooting that they need. It's that they need a high IQ scorer at a guard position.
I hope they get that.
Again, your doubts of his shot selection could prove to be completely right. That was my question mark in Utah. Was like, what are these shots you're taking?
Yeah.
But he's not.
The one I hate.
Utah, he didn't have a floor general.
No, yeah. Donovan wasn't floor general ready then, and
Donovan's much better at that in Cleveland.
And Snyder gave the other players a lot more freedom than most coaches would.
Way too much.
He gives the guys that shouldn't have freedom a lot of freedom.
Snyder's making the same mistake in his current spot. Literally the exact same one.
Yeah. The one I hate that Bogdanovich does a lot is when he gets it to, they swing it to the corner and someone's on him. And he just puts it up right in their face, with no room. Yeah. He can't step back because his heels are on the out of bounds line, and someone is right in his grill, and he just takes it anyway.
Both Bogdanoviches have that in common. They actually, outside of their names being really similar, they don't play that differently.
They really don't. Their last name is the same.
Yeah, one is just the one the Knicks are getting is significantly bigger.
Yeah, he's bigger. Yeah,
and it's at times that's the thing I don't trust with him is his scoring. I think I do trust, but
I gotcha.
His size and him being a versatile player because he can be that.
Yeah, he can.
But that's where I really don't trust. I don't trust he'll defend his matchup well. I don't trust that he'll help rebounding. And all those things could be key to them losing.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that Bogdanovich is gonna, to me, be a massive impact. It could be negative.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. One thing I love about Thibodeau, if it's negative, he's gonna cut it off right away. He'll give him 5 games. If the impact is negative, he's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
If it's still negative, he'll be getting Fournier minutes, which is none.
None at all.
And that's fine. I'm cool with that. I really didn't think Fournier was that negative, but I guess he sees something I didn't see.
I trust the Knicks structure, to your point. I trust Thibodeau to adjust for maybe Bogdanovic's shot selection. I trust Brunson to get him the ball at a good enough rate to where even if he's taking bad shots, he's getting the ball less. If he's hot that day, he's getting more shots. Like Brunson dictates those things very well.
Yeah. He does.
And that's why I love their moves at the deadline. That's to me why it's a contending move. Bogdanovich is going to be important. He's going to be a massive part of their run.
He's definitely going to have the chance to. Yeah, definitely. Those were probably the biggest trades, right? As far as like impact?
Impact, yes, for sure.
Oh, no. Buddy Hield to the 76ers, which the impact is capped because they don't have Embiid, obviously. But, I mean, he's going to be the best shooter on the team right away. He already has been. He's averaging 21 points a game in the 3 games he's been with them. They traded Sixers got Buddy Hield for Korkmaz and Doug McDermott, part of the 3-way. They sent Marcus Morris to the Spurs, Doug McDermott to the Pacers, Korkmaz to the Pacers. Korkmaz, I think, got released right away. 2 second-round picks, some cash. Spurs get Morris, second-round pick, some cash. I believe they're buying Morris out, if I'm not mistaken. And Buddy Hield will remain with the 76ers. Doug McDermott will remain with the Pacers. So it really is a Doug McDermott for Buddy Hield trade. I love this, man. I love it. And I think 76ers were looking for someone else that could space the floor and actually be like a threat to like score a lot, which I think Batum is someone who, he may hit 2 threes in a night, maybe 3. And like that's your biggest worry is him hitting 3 threes. But now we have Buddy. Your biggest worry is him hitting like 7 threes now. And Buddy he gets fouled. Good free throw shooter. He's just a better scorer than any of their other role players. And he's someone that I think is destined to be their third scorer throughout a playoff series, or definitely throughout this year. I mean, until Embiid comes back. I think this is a huge trade for them. I think he's kind of one thing they were really missing on this team, especially since they just didn't play Korkmaz. You're not that high on it. No. This is a good segue from the Knicks one because we're opposites on this one.
My problem here is I don't disagree with what you're saying. My thing is I don't think that everything Buddy does well, the Sixers didn't need it.
Shooting?
They shoot great.
Who's the best shooter on the Sixers?
Melton is liable to get 5 threes all the time.
Melton?
Yes. Tyrese Maxey is liable to hit 5+ threes all the time.
Yeah, they can hit threes, yeah. Yeah. They hit some sometimes, but that doesn't mean they didn't need a shooter.
My problem is you said you said I forgot already. You mentioned what Buddy does best. And what
hit
he's
shots.
But what are they gonna need from him? Are they really gonna need him to hit shots in the playoffs?
Yes.
Melton does that.
No.
Why has Melton been such a good impact player for them, even if he's significantly worse offensively than Buddy Hield?
He's a good ball handler. He's a better ball handler than Buddy Hield.
What else does he do?
He plays better defense.
Much better.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Much better. And now you're bringing in Buddy. Yes, he's an upgrade at shooting. To me, you don't need. Okay, maybe.
But you still have Melton. You're not losing anything.
I know.
You're only losing Korkmaz and Morris.
You're putting Buddy in a prominent role where, to me, you're going to need things from him he doesn't do well. You're going to need him to be a more important defensive player. He's not going to do that well.
Who's putting him in a prominent role?
Nick Nurse?
I mean, if he doesn't do the things well, he just won't be in that role.
So he's not starting.
I mean, he probably is right now. Isn't Melton hurt?
See, but let's assume, because it's hard to evaluate the Sixers right now because Embiid's out. But let's assume for the argument, best case, they get healthy for the playoffs. You would start Buddy alongside Embiid.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
See, that to me brings more questions than I'm excited, like, oh, that's a dream pairing.
Well, for me, I think Melton is a really good sixth man because he is pretty, even though he's small, I mean, even though he doesn't have like a lot of size, he's very versatile. He can come in for anybody other than Embiid, basically. So I just think he's a better like entry into the game after I get a feel for the game. Well, I think Buddy is just he puts more pressure on the defense off the tip. Especially with Embiid. Like my first play would be Buddy on Embiid's side, throw it into Embiid and see what the defense does. Are they going to double Embiid? Nope. Or if they do, Buddy's going to start the game out with a 3. And if Buddy's not shooting well, he's out the game for the rest of the game. That's no big deal.
That to me, like you compared him to the Batum like role. So that kind of shows me like Buddy is like night and day better than Batum, but you're putting him in a very limited impact role.
But I say Batum because they start Batum now, and I don't really know why.
And that's he's like a fucking placeholder as a starter.
Well, yes. Oh, you saying Buddy would start with Melton?
I'm not even sure.
Oh well, I think the small forwards they have give them the versatility to do anything, huh?
Like Oubre starts and he plays really well the more minutes he gets.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure, like, in the playoffs, he might be their full-time starter.
I think he's only starting because Embiid is out.
That could be. Nurse has played with the rotation quite a bit.
But isn't Melton hurt right now?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so I think the starters is weird right now, but I think the starters when it actually comes time to like have a starting 5, it'll be Maxey, Buddy, Tobias.
I'll ask you like this.
Embiid.
Because I don't want to harp on like specifically what, how much Buddy's playing. Who's having more impact on their respective playoff runs? Bogdanovich on the Knicks or Buddy for the Sixers?
Right, like with both their situations?
Best case scenario for both teams.
But like I'm saying with both situations, like with Randall being out and Embiid being out? Or are you saying it when they're both back?
I mean, if they're both out, the teams are not significant to me. So assuming best case, assuming they're healthy and they're contending and you're looking at how they're going to make a full playoff run, who's having more impact?
Oh, to me, Buddy. I'm sorry.
Really?
But yeah.
See, we disagree heavily there.
But to me, it's the threat. It's more of a threat than it is like no, that's not a good comparison. But it's the threat of Buddy is bigger to me than Bogdanovich scoring a lot.
I disagree.
I don't even know how much it would be. But I know what Buddy can do. He's more of a wild card to me than Buddy is. At least I know for a fact if I leave Buddy open, he's gonna make. He shoots his like third most threes in the league. If I leave him open, he's gonna get buckets. But Bogdanovich could play 40 minutes and end with 10 points, and it would just be what it is. He could have 30. He could have 10.
90 minutes and score 10 points.
I know, but Buddy, if he's open, there's like no limit to what he could score if he's open. But Bogdanovich, he could be wide open and still only score 10 points. He's just not as consistent to me at what he does, which is score, like general score, as Buddy is like hitting open threes. That's how it is. It is for me.
That to me is why I disagree with you so heavily, because
Well,
the point to me is that Buddy could be great or awful, and it could have no impact on the Sixers.
I don't think him being great has no impact on the Sixers.
I guess like Buddy playing well doesn't put them over whoever I don't think they could beat.
That's fair.
Bogdanovich playing well makes the Knicks significantly better.
I don't think they beat anybody else that they wouldn't beat without him either.
See,
so we just feel this. We feel the same about the,
the difference is how I'm much more positive on the Knicks than you are. Like, I believe in them significantly more than you do.
I believe in the Knicks. I just don't believe in Bogdanovich. He's the only I believe in Burks more than I believe in Bogdanovich.
That's insane to me. That's wild.
He's the only one I'm not. I don't see it. I've really never seen it in him.
This is the
never
first
been a
time
fan.
Bogdanovich is finally on a spot. Every other spot, he's inconsistent. You're right. But every other spot, they've needed him to be consistent. He hasn't, and the team is sitting there like, man, if only we had a more consistent forward that we could trust. You already said Thibodeau will have him out of the rotation.
Yeah.
If Buddy's playing bad, that makes the Sixers rotation worse.
But they traded nothing for him.
But he's still there's the threat of Buddy, to your point, is gonna make they're gonna continuously force to play him, and it's gonna mess up their guard rotation.
Maybe you don't have confidence in Nurse then.
Perhaps that's fair.
Yeah, because I don't think he'll play if he's not helping him.
I'm more concerned. It's not even Buddy individually. I'm more concerned that they're not going to have the continuity with Embiid, and Buddy is like, a lot of these guys have already played a ton with Embiid, so it's, it mitigates him missing so much time. Buddy's coming in, and he's going to go to the playoffs having not played with Embiid at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's much more room for him not to play well.
Well, this is my last feeling about between these two things. I think Buddy's playing well impacts the rest of the team more than Bogdanovich's playing well does. I don't think Bogdanovich opens anything up for anybody. I don't think he makes it easier on Brunson. He doesn't make you, like, if I helped off DiVincenzo, I'm going to help off Bogdanovich. He's not like the guy that the defense changes anything from, because he just shoots it in people's face anyway. Or he just does, like, he doesn't do anything different. But I think Buddy... Huh?
The Knicks, did they not need a dynamic, exciting role player that could score?
I mean, I guess.
To your point, if he sucks, DiVincenzo is soaking up all his minutes. Who's taking Buddy's minutes to you?
I don't, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Whoever has him now.
We're arguing like minimal adjustment things at this point, because
no. Let me finish how I feel about the difference. I think Buddy's impact, if he's playing well, impacts how the defense plays against the rest of the team more than that happens with Bogdanovich. Like, nothing, if Bogdanovich plays well, it is just a plus, which is good. It's solely a plus because it does nothing else for anybody else. No one's going to play Randall any differently. No one's going to play Brunson any differently. It's just going to be another guy out there that is getting buckets, and that's cool. That's fine. But to me, Buddy on this team, if Buddy's shooting well, Maxey is going to get open more. And he's going to have more of a lane to drive because people aren't going to rush to the lane to get in front of him. Embiid is going to have a harder time being doubled if Buddy is open on the other side. I just think it's going to be another swing guy to shoot from. Like, if someone else is shooting well and the defense kind of is looking at them more, then Buddy is another shooter out there. I just think his impact does more for the team around him than Bogdanovich's does, to me. Bogdanovich could have 40 and everyone is still guarding everybody the same way. Nothing changes. It doesn't make it easier on the rest of the team. That's all. I think Buddy makes it easier time for Maxey and Embiid.
I think our difference is that you're underestimating Bogdanovich's scoring ability. Because, to be honest with you, he could lead them in scoring a lot of nights.
We would lose a lot of games then. Knicks would be losing.
See, I trust I trust Thibodeau. I trust
Knicks would
Brunson.
be losing a lot.
Enough. I trust how slow you guys play enough, especially when the playoffs hit. I trust your defense enough that he's going to, by default, be a capable defender here.
Yeah, he's a capable defender. Because people forget he's 6'8".
And this is maybe just me being delusional. And maybe, I don't know if he was playing to get his value up, but he, for some weird reason, was really motivated to look good in Detroit over the last 3 months.
He was getting buckets. As soon as he came back, he got right to it.
He immediately went, started co-starring with Cade.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. I mean, they can't win a game to save their life, but to me, what he showed was that he's healthy.
Yeah.
That's another reason I'm excited is, when he was healthy, he was hard to keep from scoring.
Yeah, he's a scoring machine.
But I do see what you're saying. The ceiling for Philly with Buddy, he gives them more of a ceiling than Bogdanovich may help, may not. He may help a lot. Mm-hmm. He may hurt a lot. But Buddy provides a ceiling for how Philly plays that I do think could make them even more scary.
So you're saying, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
I just don't trust to see, it's hard for me to visualize them, being utilized the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, the game for the Knicks, the game is going to get stagnant. They're going to struggle to score. That's why you think they can't beat some of the teams is because they're going to struggle to score.
Yeah.
And Bogdanovich thrives in that.
He does. He's definitely a momentum. If they don't have the momentum, he randomly gets a crazy.
Right.
Bucket.
And meanwhile, Philly, I've seen for years shoot the ball well. In the playoffs, they don't defend that well.
Yeah, but I think they kind of already got that covered now with Covington and Oubre and Batum. So those guys, long, lengthy guys.
Buddy helps, and this team Philly specifically needed a slight change of scenery just for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Because they were just very stagnant without Embiid.
They were.
Very predictable. Very random young team.
Yeah.
Kind of play style, and that didn't really look that good.
It didn't. Now, real quickly on some of these other ones, and then we'll be done here. Monty Morris is the Timberwolves for Troy Brown, Shake Milton in a second-round pick. I love this. I don't think Monty Morris is really who I imagined for them, but he's gonna work. Smart player. I didn't realize he has the best assist to turnover ratio in college basketball history. Did you know that?
Yeah. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
So super high IQ guy, hits open shots, great mid range, great pick and roll player, which is perfect for the Timberwolves, which is exactly what they needed from a backup point guard. And he actually just gets some other guys off the floor, which is a plus in itself. How do you feel about this one?
I like it too. I like it a lot. It shows the self-awareness for what they were missing.
Yeah.
They just needed a good decision maker on the court.
They did.
Because they've been playing well the last couple weeks, and they're starting to do some of the things we've been wanting to see from them. Their ball movement is getting a little bit better. They're running more sets. They look pretty good coming out of timeouts now. But I still get through their whole rotation, and when they don't play well, you just seek somebody to not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And Monty's a guy who's going to clean that up. Like, let's get a pick and roll. Let's get a shot on the rim. Let's get a good pull up. A good pickup for a contender.
Yeah. Weird one here. OKC trades Vasily Micic. Sorry if I messed that up. Trey Mann and Davis Bertans, 2 second-round picks and cash for Gordon Hayward. That is a truckload of stuff for Gordon Hayward to me.
I mean, he is expensive.
I mean, like,
Gordon Hayward is still, you forget, he's still priced as if he didn't break his leg, I believe.
I know, but why buy him? It doesn't mean you have to buy it.
Oh, I'm not sure why they're buying it. I don't know what the desire here is.
Yeah.
But they're not really losing anybody key in the rotation.
No, they're not. No. I like Trey Mann, though. But you're right. They're not losing much. And I tell you what, Hornets made off pretty well with this trade and the Curry and Grant Williams and a first-round pick from Dallas. They made off pretty well this trade deadline. Does Gordon Hayward help the Thunder to you?
Yes, I do think he helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if anything, he's like a much better Josh Giddey because he's a versatile wing. He maybe doesn't post up as much, but Giddey, to be honest with you, often doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And
he
Gordon,
was having that kind of issue.
And Gordon, to me, like, we've seen him in a number of situations, a lot of bad teams, a couple of good, winning situations.
Yeah.
And he always has an impact. He's never invisible. He's a good decision maker, always a good assist guy. I mean, they need another player to just make plays.
Yeah. He's good. He makes plays for sure. He's good. I think he's a solid pickup for their rotation.
They got a lot of guys to score. They don't got a lot of guys to create offense.
Yeah.
And he helps a lot.
Moving on, Dennis Schroeder to the Nets, Thaddeus Young to the Suns, Spencer Dinwiddie to the Lakers. Anything on those?
I mean, the Nets, no. It's whatever. I like Schroeder, but I don't really care about him going to the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Thaddeus Young to the Suns, I don't care about at all.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays a lot, that's a negative to me.
Me too.
And Dinwiddie is a good pickup for the Lakers, but not a significant one.
Yeah, not a very impactful one. Royce O'Neal, David Roddy to the Suns.
Good pickup.
For Metu Watanabe, Base Diop, or Jordan Goodwin. Yeah.
Some of those guys I wanted to see more.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that, like, Watanabe couldn't get on the court, but, like, I know Royce O'Neal will, even if he's horrible.
He's looked pretty good for them so far. Last night he looked good.
He did look good last night. And O'Neal, like, coming from the Nets, I think the Nets play in a similar manner. So
yeah, because Durant was there, so.
But it's not just, even with the Nets' current cast, they play very similar.
Yeah, they do.
To where you kind of have to find your way around scores.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Nets coaching situation, frankly, sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So he's upgrading as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But both of these guys are just, like, competitive.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is what their Suns are going to need most in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, O'Neal, to me, O'Neal's not afraid of the moment, and Roddy's a guy who's just really confident.
Yeah. They both make good 50-50 plays.
Yeah.
Good, like, random, like, the offensive player loses the ball, they dive at their legs and get it and, like, start a fast break. They do that kind of stuff, hit the open three.
And they're the kind of players who, when they make positive plays, it motivates the stars more.
It does.
It gets the stars more hyped.
Yeah. Last one. Pat Bev to the Bucks for Cameron Payne.
I mean, I love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
It's in another very self-aware pickup.
Mm-hmm.
But this to me like validates, and I guess I'm the certified Bucks hater now.
Yeah.
But this validates a lot of my fears for them. The fact that they like needed to go get Pat Bev,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means their leadership is suspect.
Yeah. I do think he's a really good pickup from them. I think he brings more defense than Payne. He's vocal. He's more respected. I think Pat Bev is one of those guys that, like, in the heat of the game, he'll fight you, curse at you, bite you, all whatever. But then after the game, he's just Pat Bev. Like, he's cool. It's all respect after the game. He's one of those guys who'll go into battle with his guns blazing. But after the battle is over, it's just like, we're teammates. Like, for him and Damian to get along after what they've been through, the watch celebration thing, the playoffs they play against each other, and now like they're going to be leading the same team. I think Pat Bev is a good professional when it comes to that. And he's played with Doc before, so maybe that helps, but I don't know. That's all I got. I try to be positive.
Listen, on the court impact, I honestly don't really see much. Like, what campaign was fine. I don't really I mean, he couldn't guard. Pat Bev is a good defender. But your defense is not, your backup point guard wasn't the source of why you can't get stops.
Right. I think he makes similar to Royce O'Neal and Roddy, he makes the good 50-50 plays too.
Yeah. That's
like, he'll get a big steal, a big block in a moment that puts them into a different
but he's
situation in the game.
He's also emotionally volatile.
Yeah, he is.
And let's be frank, Doc doesn't manage that well.
No, he doesn't. But one thing cool about Pat Bev, he goes with the game. Like, if the game is emotionally volatile, he's gonna take it to the next level.
Yeah.
But like, if it's not, like the games that are kind of meaningless and that like no one's taking it that intense, he also doesn't, which is kind of, I'm not really sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is kind of interesting.
Yeah. The Bucks are kind of what they are. I mean, Pat Bev is not going to determine their season to me.
No,
even
he's
if
not.
He's good or bad.
They're going to have to do some buyout market stuff, like, desperately, because I don't really see a high ceiling for how the young guys are for them. But that's not really the topic. We'll get to the Bucks next pod.
Bucks breakdown is coming soon.
Yeah. You have anything else as far as the trade deadline goes? I think that's it for us today. Otherwise,
you mentioned Charlotte. Kind of making off well.
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't really matter as far as we get to the playoffs. We're not going to talk about them. There's a good chance we won't talk about them in the offseason much.
Yeah.
The Raptors are finally changing their ways.
They are.
The Raptors are finally embracing, like, we have been an abysmal offensive team in an era of buckets, like pure buckets, is with the best, with the fastest pace you could possibly have.
Yeah.
And the Raptors have weirdly focused on being a defensive team and not even like fully committed to that.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy they have a lot of young players to where, like, over the next few years, they can make a lot of moves. They could wait for their players to develop, and they could develop a chemistry to where, like, they could easily surprise us over the next couple years.
Yeah, getting Olynyk and Abaji in this trade with Otto Porter and Kyrie Lewis Jr. and for a first round pick, which was kind of wild, but I think that you're right. I think that they are kind of almost trying to copy how the Jazz have, like, built what they have in a way. To me, I think they kind of see the Jazz and it's like, man, why aren't we like that over here? Yeah. They got rid of Schroeder. They're getting, like you said, they're getting younger. They're getting more hungry guys. And you're seeing the energy change. I mean, they have an all-star now, like, in Scotty Barnes. Like,
and that to me, like,
the energy's
the
definitely changing.
blueprints to develop into a contender are there, right? You got a new coach who believes in the players. You got again, you're playing at a modern NBA pace rather than embracing some fucking lame identity that's, you know, washed up essentially.
Yeah.
And to me, they just, to your point, they have guys with exciting ceilings.
They do.
That's the biggest. Like, Van Fleet is good, but his ceiling is nothing like R.J. Barrett or Quickly.
He's as good as he is gonna be.
Right, like, you know, it was a big kind of dispute between Scotty Barnes and OG, and who were they going to keep because they're kind of the same type of player. And they really picked the guy with more of a ceiling. And again, whether that does, even if it doesn't work out, I'm all for that. I love it.
Yeah, and they might have picked a guy that would make a trade for guys with more of a ceiling. Like, I think the Scotty Barnes trades were going to be like older stars, like guys who are already established. Maybe they didn't want that. They wanted two young guys for, you know, another young guy.
Right.
There's no like two young guys I would trade for Barnes. But OG definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
All right, cool. Thank you for listening as always. We will be back next week. New stuff, NBA stuff, maybe a little NCAA stuff. And we'll catch you guys next time.